Action News. I'm at the Ice Harbor Dam, and I'm at the top here hanging on for dear life, but we're going to go through all the dam's features and talk about what they have to offer here. They also have a free tour, a guided tour coming up at the end of May. So that's still to come on Action News. Good morning, everyone. We are at the Ice Harbor Dam out in Burbank, Washington, and we're in the visitor center right now. They have a whole bunch of cool exhibits around me, but right now we are in the fish viewing room, and I have one of the Corp Park Rangers here, Heather, with me. So she's going to describe what we're standing in right now.
Well, what we're at right now is the fish ladder, which connects the rivers above and below the dam so that the adults returning from the ocean can just get right back on up to where they spawned to begin with.
Awesome. So I don't know if you can see some of the fish behind me. They might be kind of running off right now, but you can see fish. So what are the most popular fishes that we're seeing this time of year?
Well, we're starting in. We got the Chinook salmon and the steelhead coming in mostly. We'll start seeing more shad in July, and by August and September, the Chinook and steelhead will be coming through really thick.
Right. You mentioned that time of year, you'll probably see a wall of fish coming through, right?
Let's hope.
That's really cool. All right, so I know in this corner I'm seeing a fish counting station. So what is that all about?
This is part of what we do with the continual studies with the salmon, steelhead migrating. It shows that efforts we're doing to help the populations improve, whether they're working or not, and so far so good.
So right now the most is the Chinook. I see the largest count right now, about 100,000 Chinook salmon going through.
They'll start evening out a little bit more.
Well, cool. This is just the first leg of the tour. We'll take you up top of the dam as well. We'll toss it back to you in the meanwhile. Good morning, everyone. We are out at the Ice Harbor Dam out here in Burbank, Washington this morning. And today we're going on a guided tour. I've got some hard hats on here. I've also got a federal park ranger. This is Heather here, and she's going to talk a little bit about these hydropower generators. We kind of stepped off of the tour here to get a closer look at these generators. So can you tell us how these guys work? So how do they generate power?
Well, we have the dam here in place on the river. So we collect that water, send it down through a turbine area at the lower part of the generator. It spins the turbine blade, which connects to the rotor inside the stator up high. With the alternating current there, we can draw it off, boost the amount of power that we send to Bonneville Power Administration, and they can distribute it out to the region.
Oh, wow. So a lot of power here is generated, and it can be turned on and off at any point, right? Is that how these work?
For the most part, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Some of them are sitting idle, ready to go. Others might take a few minutes to get set up, but we see
the light is on there. Does that mean that it's generating power?
That's the one running.
Oh, that's really cool.
We have a couple of them.
Very cool. So I know this is pretty new technology, but have there been any adaptations since it was implemented?
Yeah, the dam's over 50 years old, so in that time we're doing continuous studies and decide we're going to go ahead and make improvements as we see fit.
Well, great. Well, this is just one stop of the tour. There are many more to go. Make sure you follow along with us. We'll toss it back to you in the studio for now. Good morning, everyone. I am at the Ice Harbor Dam here out in Burbank, Washington, and I'm on a guided tour. And right now we are outside at one of the stops. Got my hard hat on, and I'm here with Heather. She's one of the Corp Park Rangers. So can you tell us about the feature we're looking at behind us? It's pretty interesting.
What we have behind us is the adult fish ladder for the salmon and steelhead that are returning from the ocean, heading back up to the mountain streams where they want to spawn. This allows them to treat it just like the waterfalls they used to use and get back home.
Right, so it basically mimics a waterfall and lets them pass through the dam, correct?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So what about the young salmon that go the opposite way? Can they go down these fish ladders, or is there another way to get through?
They're able to go down it, but they tend to hug the middle of the river. So what we do is we just allow them to go with the flow, literally. They go through the spillways, we open it up, and if they end up in an area that isn't near the spillway, we can divert them around the dam and bypass it completely.
Oh, great. So do all dams have these type of features?
The 4 lower Snake River dams and the lower Columbia River dams do, because we're in that path between the ocean and the mountain streams, but I guess it depends on the function of the dam.
Okay, great. So this is just one of the outside tours here, or the stops in the tour, and how high up are we? Because we're on top of the dam right now.
Dam's about 100 feet tall.
About 100 feet? Well, great. There's a lot of cool things here going on. It's a free tour starting in the end of May, early June, so get your families out here. It's real great. I'll toss it back to you in the meanwhile. Good morning, everyone. We are out in Burbank, Washington, and we are at the Ice Harbor Dam getting a guided tour. And right now we're standing up about 100 feet up here on top of the dam, right? Yeah, and we're looking over to some scary views here. What are we looking at?
This is our spillway section of the dam. We have the 4 main sections, including the powerhouse, the navigation lock, the fish ladders. So this 4th area is where we are able to open up these gates and let the river just flow all the way out to the ocean. It's great because it gives the fish that are migrating from their spawning grounds out to the ocean a chance to just swoosh downriver, go with the flow, and then they can do their smoltification process to go from living in the freshwater to living out in the ocean saltwater.
Wow, okay, so this is where the fish pass through the dam. Great. So are these gates always open? I know there's a lot of them open right now.
We open them in the springtime when the fish are starting to head downstream. So over the winter you won't see this much turbulence out here.
Right. Well, this is great. There's a lot of awesome views up here. This is just one of the stops to our guided tour, but they're starting up again at the end of May, the first week of June. We got a lot of different areas. Are there other great views up here that you could talk about?
Well, we're pretty much managing this whole shoreline in the river area, so we have our parks and our habitat areas. Come out and check them all out.
Yeah, great for the family. Then again, it's a free tour, so make sure you get your kids out here, learn about the dams and everything they have to offer in this area. We'll toss it back to you in the meanwhile.